Hi, my name's Chris and I'm the writer-director of Canned Laughter. Canned Laughter is a short film that tells the story of Deirdre Gossamer, a retired comedian who's since struggled to find her purpose in life without having an audience to play to. So, she makes one of her own. Transforming her basement into a makeshift comedy club, Deirdre spends her days reliving past glories and lip-syncing along to her greatest routines. But one day, one of her homemade punters, a miserable-looking thing called the Heckler, comes to life and begins to destroy her career memorabilia. Suddenly, Deirdre is forced to rethink her attachment to the glory days and face the once unthinkable prospect of moving on. The story of Canned Laughter stems from my personal experiences of looking back on my former fledgling comedy career back in my early 20s. Back then, I was writing sketches, performing them, mounting one-man shows, popping up at whatever festival or theatre would have us. And then I stopped. But I never stopped looking back, and I never really stopped wondering where I'd be now had I carried on with that career. The character of Deirdre Gossamer was born out of this sense of nostalgia for the past. But unlike her, I'd like to think that I'm someone who's not stuck there. Whilst I tend to look to the future on whatever project it is that I'm working on, Deirdre is someone who can't. She's clinging on, not moving on. But whilst this is Deirdre's story, it's dominated by her relationship to the character that torments her throughout, the Heckler. The homemade aesthetic of Deirdre's basement will be hugely important in making an audience believe that she's handcrafted every inch of it herself, and the audience will be no exception. So, to bring the Heckler to life, we'll be using puppetry. Cobbled together from a mix of tatty old clothes, junk, and one of Deirdre's trademark woolly jumpers, the Heckler will be a constant torment to Deirdre as she tries to perform one of her old routines. Building and operating this puppet will be the brilliant puppeteer Oliver Hymans, who I previously worked with on my short film Scraps.
Hi, my name's Oliver and I'm a puppet designer, director and puppeteer. I'm really excited to be working with Chris again on his latest short film. I think puppets have a very unique power on film and in the theatre to create a real sense of empathy with their audience. We almost know it's a puppet at the same time as believing that it's alive through good puppetry and good puppet design. So I think with this particular film, I'm just really excited to bring the character that Chris has designed to life. And I think audiences are going to really engage with it and follow this story with absolute intrigue.
Canned Laughter follows in the footsteps of a number of other faded star films. Films that follow their main character's obsession with the past and their efforts to recapture the fame that they've lost. These are also films that have heavily inspired the look of the film. Films like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Sunset Boulevard.
I guess I don't have to tell you who the star was.
Both films that centre around characters who are stuck in a state of arrested development. Shadows of their former selves who only step into the light to show us who they used to be.
Haven't they got any eyes? Have they forgotten what a star looks like? I'll show them. I'll be up there again, so help me.
The homemade aesthetic of the audience, on the other hand, will draw inspiration from artists like Saul Steinberg and Bruce Lacey. Artists whose eccentric, irreverent, even ramshackle pieces could have come from the cluttered mind and home of Deirdre Gossamer herself. With all of these influences and more, we're slowly beginning to construct the world that Deirdre and the Heckler live in, and that we want to share with you. We've already raised some money towards our budget, but films of this kind don't come cheap, especially where there's a lot of production design or puppetry involved. So we're asking for your support to help us bring the story of Deirdre Gossamer and the Heckler from script to screen. Anything you can give at all will be much appreciated, and we even have some great rewards on offer for anyone who does. But if you can't give anything, you can support us in other ways, like sharing our Kickstarter on social media using the hashtag CANNEDLAUGHTER. Only with your help can we bring the story of Deirdre Gossamer and the Heckler to life. And please tell your friends. Thank you.